For Janelle and her family, Sister Wives Season 19 has been an emotional roller coaster. Garrison's sad death and how the whole family is coping with their grief will be at the forefront of the coming episodes. As much as she tried to keep the blues away, Janelle couldn't stop the tears in the next episode. Read more to find out what happened. Prior to his sad death, Garrison regularly gave fans a glimpse of his cat dad life on Sister Wives. His family, particularly Janelle, adored his precious cats. In one of his last Instagram posts, he posted a sweet photo of himself and Buttons, the new 9-year-old cat he had adopted. Garrison confessed that his savior complex wouldn't let him leave the cat behind. Sister Wives viewers were also moved by Garrison's other 2 cats, Katu and Patches. His dedication to rescuing animals has inspired a lot of people. Janelle was also moved to tears when she found out how much effect her son had on a nonprofit organization. TLC has just dropped a preview of the upcoming Sister Wives Season 19 episode. Through Janelle's trip to the Flagstaff Humane Society, the memory of Garrison was always present. She became teary-eyed after she saw pictures of him hanging in the office. The Humane Society also gave Garrison a tribute plaque, as reported by a video on TLC's official YouTube posted via Janelle Brown's account. It was an emotional moment. Janelle explained that Garrison's nursing school friends once called her, inquiring where they could make a donation in his name. She had suggested the Flagstaff Humane Society, which was a place of great significance to Garrison, since most of his cats were adopted from there. A staff member also disclosed that since Garrison died, $25,000 had been donated, placing him as a primary advocate for assisting countless rescue cats. Janelle feels her son would be thrilled to see how much money was given in his memory. Following Garrison's death, Janelle Brown had earlier provided an update regarding where his cats are today. Garrison's animals, Patches and Kathu, are being cared for by Michelle Brown and Logan now, and sweet Miss Buttons landed in Aspen and Mitch Thompson's home. Janelle said she's thankful her family has come in to take over the care of Garrison's precious cats. The family's choice to keep his pets instead of adopting them out was a happy ending for many Sister Wives viewers. Source: Janelle Brown, 117 on Instagram, #, Sister Wives TLC. As a fellow cat enthusiast, one fan responded that this was one of the kindest things the family could have done for Garrison. "I'm so glad you kept them. Garrison would be too," the fan wrote. "You send you my prayers and love always. You're in my thoughts. If that's true, then you're holding a piece of Garrison's soul within you." Another supporter chimed in, "I prefer to believe dogs are part of our souls." Regarding the cat named Kathu, they commented, "I love that name." Nevertheless, most important to most was learning Garrison's canine friends are being cared for with love and attention. Sadly, Sister Wives star Garrison Brown died in 2024. Nevertheless, the fan base for the TLC show still has a warm spot for him. One recent episode featured a picture of Garrison, which caused strong feelings in viewers. Many were offended, particularly as news kept coming out about how the show was keeping his memory alive. In a poignant part of the show, Janelle Brown remembered the last days of Garrison. Garrison was Janelle and Kody Brown's son, Janelle's 4th and Kody's 8th child. Garrison had enlisted in the Nevada National Guard in 2015. Tragically, Janelle confirmed his passing in March 2024, where she announced that it was because of suicide. He was only 25 years old. Source: YouTube, Garrison Brown, Sister Wives. During the segment, Janelle relayed the sorrowful tale of her son's last moments. She recalled March 5th, the anniversary of his death, and talked about how much they communicated. "It wasn't odd for us to converse 3 times a day," she said, reflecting on the way she even texted him that day. Janelle spoke candidly about Garrison's struggle with depression, explaining, "I knew he was struggling." She reiterated how she kept in touch with him on a regular basis. All of this notwithstanding, the news shocked her. It was Gabriel who discovered him. "Mom, he's gone," Gabriel informed her. "What do you mean?" she pressed. "He's dead," Gabriel said. "He killed himself." Janelle said she couldn't recall much after hearing those words. "Within a few minutes," Janelle went on, "I got into the car and drove. We knew Garrison wasn't doing well, even though we were doing everything we could to assist him. He just couldn't hang on." After the latest Sister Wives episode, followers have gone to social media to comment on how Garrison's memory is being managed. One specific moment evoked passionate emotions when a picture of Garrison flashed across the screen. Participants started sharing recollections and frustrations. "I never thought the season could get any more heartbreaking," another fan posted online. TLC really went there. Some used nicknames for Robyn and Kody throughout their posts. Many were upset about how the episode played out, claiming it felt disrespects and more about individuals who weren't even remotely related to Garrison, like the Baldocks and so on. Fans noted that Robyn's kids requested more time with their dad, and others ridiculed their actions during the commitment ceremony, CO. One of the viewers stated the moment when Garrison's name was mentioned seemed awkward, like Baldocks used Garrison's memory as a means of drama for the show. Another reminded us that Soen was driven to the RV purchased for him, but Garrison was edited out of the story. We never heard anything bad about Garrison after his death, but all of a sudden he was utilized again, this time as a means to fuel contempt. The fans also faulted the emphasis on the signage Garrison sold and produced as unnecessary. "Most of the episode was about that and totally disregarded Garrison's position in the family," said one of the viewers. "There was scarcely a moment spent on their real memories of him." This criticism is following another controversy in which fans were questioning the treatment of Garrison's photo in the previous episode. A lot of them felt that it should have been treated more respectfully, particularly because it was viewed in Kody's garage and not somewhere more significant. The post that elicited the backlash also mentioned a scene where Kody supposedly mentioned that he was again burying Garrison. "It's shameful," one viewer replied. "We call that a second burial. Why is that what concerns him the most? Just make Garrison vanishes." Others said the same in the comments, venting rage at how flippantly Garrison's memory was handled. Some of the fans even mentioned rumors that Kody had attempted to have Garrison's funeral be documented by TLC. "Because Robyn didn't want his picture in the house," one of the commenters posted, "he shoved Garrison's photo into the garage, like it would clash with her giant deer painting." Shoulder. At that moment, Janelle remained stationary, allowing the memories wash over her. The laughter in those photos was almost loud to be heard. You might sense Garrison's presence in the room, not only in the photographs but in the warmth, in the love that still permeated those walls. This was not merely a memorial. It was a living, breathing remembrance of what he was, a guardian of the voiceless, a friend to the forgotten, and a son whose light had touched so many lives. The brass nameplate was plain: "In loving memory of Garrison Brown, friend of all creatures." Janelle stroked her hand over it softly, the touch lingering just a fraction too long. Her heart shattered all over again, but it was also full of pride, full of love, full of the quiet heroism that comes from knowing someone you loved dearly left the world a better place, albeit for a short while. Outside of the alcove, patrons walked softly by. Some stopped, reading the plaque, mouthing gentle things, or smiling softly at Janelle as they moved by. Others left flowers and letters, occasionally even toys for the animals Garrison had once nurtured. The shelter was now a holy place, one where his humanity endured, in each animal adopted, and each life rescued. And at home, they still couldn't fathom why Garrison's picture was tucked away in Kody's garage, instead of proudly displayed with the respect he was due. He should be center stage, supporters declared on social media, not behind storage bins, not behind doors. Many were relieved that the rumored footage of the Baldoc's visit to Garrison's memorial never aired. Some even claimed that the children stood their ground and refused to let TLC film the military funeral, demanding privacy and dignity during their darkest hour. "Where was I when he said he would always have him in the garage?" a viewer confessed. "I almost yelled at the TV. How could anyone possibly believe that was all right? Garrison deserves so much more than that. But out of television cameras, beyond the drama and staged moments, something else was being scripted. A mother in a quiet room surrounded by paw prints and photos, holding space for a son whose legacy was still well and truly alive. A son whose love for family, for animals, for people, was still changing the world. Even in death, the pavement, following a summer storm, his small hands cradled it gently, eyes open in awe. "Mom," he said, "he's lost. Can I help him find home?" That was Garrison even as a child, always attempting to make the world safer, kinder, more merciful for the powerless. It was a stray dog, a bird that limped along, or later, a broken-hearted cat. He noticed them all, and he ensured that they were noticed. Janelle's voice cracked slightly as she recalled the memory, but her face lit up. The shelter staff listened quietly, some with tears in their eyes, others nodding as if to say, "Yes, that's the Garrison we've come to know, too." This wasn't a memorial. This was a legacy in action. In the hallway outside, a boy laughed as a puppy licked his face. An older woman completed an adoption application, her hand firm and steady. A young man passed by holding a little black kitten who had just gained a permanent home. These were the ripples of Garrison's life, small, strong, unending. And as Janelle walked out into the sunlight beyond the brass plaque and the photo wall, she felt warmth that wasn't even from the sun. It was him, still present, in the wind that shook the trees, in the hum of a cat curled against the front desk, in every deed of unobtrusive kindness born of love. She looked back one more time before she left. "Thank you, my boy," she whispered. Because Garrison hadn't simply left memories. He'd left a better world. Grief didn't disappear, but it changed. It became action, became care, became something that honored Garrison not only in memory, but in movement. Every rescued pet, every bedtime story whispered over a curled-up cat, every bowl of food lovingly filled, every donation sent in his name, all were echoes of a life that had meant something, profoundly, irrevocably. His absence was enormous, but his legacy inestimable. At home, his worn-out flannel shirt still leaned against its hook. Sometimes Janelle found herself reaching out to touch it, not to put it on, but to feel nearer to him. The animals sensed it too. Buttons would sit next to it for hours, paws folded neatly as if guarding something holy. His little brother, cousins, and friends would at times drop by with tea, exchange stories, or browse through his social media updates, laughing, crying, reminiscing. One such read, "Some heroes don't wear capes. Some just carry a stray in their hoodie pocket." He had posted that after he had saved a shivering kitten during winter. It was now such a family mantra. Several of his family members started volunteering at the shelter themselves. Others sponsored adoptions or reposted animal welfare posts on social media in his memory. On Garrison's birthday, rather than grieving in silence, they had a quiet ceremony at the shelter, planting flowers in a little garden they named Garrison's Grove, where butterflies tended to congregate. Love had not been lost. It had been redirected, shared, and still very much alive. While watching the sunset behind the hills that night, Janelle put a hand over her heart. "You taught us how to love better," she breathed, and in each whisker wiggle, each tail swish, each life saved, he replied. Pick him out of that gloom, how she struggled with every mother's instinct to get through to him, to let him know he was loved, noticed, required. But depression, she allowed, is sometimes like a fog, dense, quiet, and unyielding. Their last exchange was, from all external evidence, run-of-the-mill, a meme posted, a check-in, a love you, speak later, and no further responses. That stillness torments her, and as she told the tale, her voice trembled, not with weakness, but with the burden of truth. This wasn't about television or ratings or a show. It was a moment, raw and unfiltered, of a mother wanting to comprehend how someone so filled with light can become overwhelmed with shadow. What makes the hurt so much more heartbreaking is the way this son, a unassuming champion of others, kept his own hurt such a secret. He was the one who rescued strays, who phoned his siblings late at night simply to ask, "How are you doing, really?" He was the one who noticed birthdays people had forgotten, who bought strangers coffee, who once fixed a neighbor's roof without being asked. He gave himself away in fragments, bountifully, nearly wastefully, until there was not enough left to keep himself intact. Now, 1 year later, the family has moved from outright grief to reflective remembrance. The shelter he volunteered with began a second chance fund in his honor. A teen scholarship for those interested in working in animal rescue was instituted. His name is mentioned frequently, not in whispers of tragedy, but with pride, with appreciation. His mother, who was once simply praised for her fortitude in holding together a complicated family situation, is now viewed differently, as a grieving mother pushing for mental health. She has started to speak, hushed, courageously, about what she wishes she had understood, about signs she now recognizes looking back, and about how other families can create bridges for open discussion. Talk to your children, she pleads, not just about school or chores, but about how they feel. Don't wait. Don't assume. Ask them if they're okay, and when they say, "I'm fine," ask again. In life, he gave a voice to the voiceless. In death, his story has become a powerful call to action. This holiday season, the family won't have expensive parties. They'll light candles instead. Go to the shelter. Read donor journal messages. Cuddle the cats he loved. Share stories. Laugh. Weep. Heal. And in each small act of compassion, in every attempt to see the unseen struggles another might wage, his legacy lives on. Patriarch's attempt to commodify sorrow, taking a very personal tragedy and making it part of the entertainment machine of the family. The outrage was immediate and passionate. Viewers, most of whom had watched the family for years, filled forums, comment sections, and social media streams with number "respect his memory" and number "not for ratings," rebuking the inconsiderateness. They weren't in the mood for drama. They were in the mood for dignity. They were in the mood for the subdued reality of a young man who, despite overwhelming inner turmoil, had radiated warmth and empathy to countless others. The mother's mourning, so raw and so unrestrainedly presented in previous interviews and episodes, was touched on only marginally in the scandalous broadcast. Her memories, the quiver of her voice as she spoke of his childhood kindness, his love of animals, and his perpetual emotional sense, were largely left out. Instead, viewers were treated to what seemed a salacious rendition of events: fights over inheritance, recriminations, and passive-aggressive stares over long dining tables. To some, it seemed the producers and showrunners were more interested in drama than humanity. Even some former cast members got involved, quietly or overtly, to speak out for the mother and express their disappointment. One of them wrote in a now-viral post, "He was not a storyline. He was a son, a friend, a light. He deserves better than what aired." What started as fan outrage became an effort among the community at large to take back his narrative. Fans started posting their own mental health stories and tales of loss. Pet rescue groups saw donations pour in his name. Some even made pages and online memorials dedicated entirely to him, his words, his actions, his devotion to abandoned animals. Supporters also sent a petition to the show to dedicate one of its next episodes, without dramatized scripting, to the young man's life, with real reflections by his mother, immediate siblings, friends, and volunteers at the homeless shelter where he volunteered so much of himself. Whether the network will exceed is unknown, but the call is unmistakable. Let the reality of who he was shine through. Let his story be told with compassion. Let his life continue in actions, not airtime. Death on TV is a fragile beast. When treated gently, it encourages healing and bonding. When it's badly handled, it seems exploitative, like having a wound picked open for viewership. The young man who died too early had a heart full of compassion, a deep empathy for both creatures and humans, and a kind of inner strength that many viewers say gave them hope long before he died. To reduce him to a background figure or an argumentative tool in family feuds is not just disrespectful. It forgets the very best about who he was. Ultimately, maybe his tale, no matter how twisted on screen, has ignited something true and lasting in the world beyond. And that, as well, is a legacy. The leader's suggestion that the funeral be taped for the reality program caused widespread furor, unveiling the hard-nosed tension between private mourning and public scrutiny. During this wrenching period, the mother remained unflinching, her silent grief an austere remembrance of the agony suffered by public figures whose private tragedies turn into public spectacle. Despite her intense and ongoing sadness, she has focused on honoring her son's memory, even as she navigates the complexities of strained family relationships and the demands of television production. Her stories reveal her son's generosity, his dedication to causes close to his heart, and the warmth he extended to everyone around him. These thoughts humanize him well beyond the television script, giving us a glimpse of a love and loss that no camera eye can ever fully record. The death of the young man has struck a chord in people far wider than the immediate family. Devoted viewers and fans have written about their own experiences of loss and mental illness, showing solidarity and sympathy. Many have used this as an opportunity to spread awareness of the need for support systems and mental health.